John Adams was a key founding father and later became the second President of the United States, born on October 30, 1735, in Braintree, Massachusetts, which was then a modest Puritan town. His family was of simple means but deeply rooted in the Puritan traditions that shaped much of New England's early culture and values. Adams attended Harvard College, graduating in 1755, after which he pursued a career in law, a profession that suited his sharp mind and strong sense of justice. He quickly established himself as a prominent lawyer in Boston, gaining respect for his legal expertise and moral integrity at a time when the colonies were grappling with increasing tensions under British rule. His marriage in 1764 to Abigail Smith was a significant partnership, not only personally but politically, as Abigail's intelligence and support deeply influenced Adams's thinking and public career. Early on, Adams became involved in colonial politics, opposing British policies such as the Stamp Act of 1765, which imposed direct taxes on the colonies and sparked widespread protest. He developed a reputation as a fierce advocate for colonial rights and justice, often arguing against what he saw as unfair treatment by the British Crown. His legal career and political activism were intertwined, and he used his skills to defend colonial interests, embracing the growing sentiment for greater autonomy. Adams's early opposition to British policies was grounded in his belief that the colonies deserved fair representation and that the rule of law should protect individual liberties. He was not, at this stage, calling outright for independence, but his arguments laid important groundwork for the revolutionary ideas that would soon follow. Adams's work as a lawyer was marked by several notable cases where he defended unpopular clients, including British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre of 1770. Despite the unpopularity of his clients, Adams insisted on the right to a fair trial, demonstrating his commitment to legal principles over popular opinion. This episode helped establish his reputation as a principled man of law and order, someone who valued justice even when it was difficult or unpopular. His legal career gave him a platform to voice his concerns about the growing overreach of British authority in colonial affairs, and he became an important figure in Boston's political circles. His marriage to Abigail Smith was more than a personal union, it was a partnership that deeply influenced his political outlook. Abigail was well educated for a woman of her time and maintained a lively correspondence with her husband throughout their lives, often advising him on political matters and expressing her views on liberty and governance. Their letters reveal a relationship of mutual respect and intellectual exchange, and Abigail's influence on Adams was significant in shaping his views on the rights of individuals and the responsibilities of government. This partnership would continue to be a source of strength throughout Adams's public life. As tensions between the colonies and Britain escalated in the 1760s and early 1770s, Adams became increasingly involved in the movement opposing British policies. He spoke out against the Stamp Act and other measures that he believed infringed on colonial rights, aligning himself with other early patriots who sought to defend the liberties of the American colonists. His legal expertise and political convictions made him a natural leader in this emerging resistance. Adams was known for his eloquence and his ability to articulate the colonial grievances in legal and moral terms, which helped galvanize support among his peers. Adams's early political involvement was characterized by a growing belief that the colonies needed to assert their rights more forcefully, though he remained cautious about outright rebellion. He was a thinker who valued order and law but also recognized when those in power were unjust, and his writings and speeches during this period reflect a careful balance between advocating for change and maintaining stability. This stance made him a respected voice in the colonial assemblies and town meetings where debates about the future of the colonies were intensifying. Throughout the 1760s and early 1770s, Adams's reputation as a defender of colonial rights grew, and he began to be seen as a leading figure in Massachusetts politics. His legal career, his principled stand during the Boston Massacre trials, and his outspoken opposition to British taxation policies positioned him as a key advocate for American interests. He was seen as someone who could navigate the complexities of law and politics with a clear moral compass, which earned him the trust of many fellow colonists who were seeking leadership in a time of uncertainty. By the early 1770s, Adams's role in the political landscape of Massachusetts was firmly established, and he was preparing to take on larger responsibilities as the colonies moved closer to open conflict with Britain. His early experiences in law and politics, combined with his strong partnership with Abigail, laid the foundation for his later work in the Continental Congress and the American Revolution. Adams's early life and career reflect the tensions and challenges of a colonial society on the brink of transformation, and his efforts helped shape the emerging American identity rooted in principles of justice and liberty. Adams's background as a Puritan New Englander influenced his values deeply, emphasizing hard work, education, and a commitment to community and morality. These values informed his approach to law and politics and helped him maintain a steady course during the turbulent years that followed. His education at Harvard provided him with the intellectual tools to engage in complex legal and political debates, and his early career demonstrated his ability to apply those tools effectively in defense of colonial rights. In summary, John Adams's early life and education set the stage for his later prominence as a founding father. Born into a modest family, educated at Harvard, and trained as a lawyer, he combined legal skill with a passionate commitment to justice and colonial rights. His marriage to Abigail Smith was a crucial partnership that enriched his political life, and his early opposition to British policies established him as a principled advocate for the American cause. These years formed the groundwork for Adams's significant contributions to the American Revolution and the founding of the United States. John Adams's role in the American Revolution and his subsequent diplomatic efforts marked a pivotal chapter in his life and in the history of the United States. After establishing himself as a prominent lawyer and early advocate for colonial rights, Adams became a delegate to the Continental Congress, where he emerged as a strong voice for independence from Britain. His legal background and eloquence made him an influential figure in the debates that shaped the future of the colonies during this critical period. Adams was not only a political leader but also a skilled negotiator who understood the importance of foreign alliances and the practicalities of war. In 1776, Adams played a crucial role in the drafting of the Declaration of Independence, working alongside Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and others. While Jefferson is often credited as the principal author, Adams was a key advocate for the document within the Congress and helped refine its language and arguments. His commitment to the cause of independence was unwavering, and he understood that the colonies needed to present a united and compelling case to both their own people and the world. Adams's contributions helped ensure that the Declaration articulated the fundamental principles of liberty and self-governance that would define the new nation. Beyond his work on the Declaration, Adams served on various committees within the Continental Congress, including those responsible for foreign diplomacy and managing the war effort. He recognized early on that the success of the revolution depended not only on military victories but also on securing international support. This understanding led to his appointment as a diplomat to France, a critical ally whose support would prove vital to the American cause. Adams's diplomatic mission was challenging, as he had to navigate the complex politics of Europe while advocating for American interests. In France, Adams worked tirelessly to maintain and strengthen the alliance that had begun with the Treaty of Alliance in 1778. He collaborated with Benjamin Franklin and other American diplomats to secure financial aid, military supplies, and political backing. The support from France, including troops and naval forces, was essential in turning the tide of the war in favor of the Americans. Adams's diplomatic efforts helped solidify this alliance, demonstrating his ability to operate effectively on the international stage and to advance the revolutionary cause beyond the battlefield. Following his time in France, Adams was sent to the Netherlands, where he successfully negotiated loans that provided crucial financial support for the war. These loans helped sustain the Continental Army and kept the revolutionary effort viable during difficult times. Adams's work in the Netherlands further underscored his role as a diplomat who could secure resources and legitimacy for the fledgling United States. His ability to engage with foreign governments and financiers was instrumental in ensuring that the revolution had the means to continue against a powerful British Empire. One of Adams's most significant achievements as a diplomat was his involvement in negotiating the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which officially ended the Revolutionary War. Alongside John Jay and Benjamin Franklin, Adams helped secure terms that recognized American independence and established boundaries for the new nation. The treaty was a diplomatic triumph, confirming the success of the revolution and laying the groundwork for the United States to emerge as an independent country on the world stage. Adams's contributions to this agreement reflected his deep understanding of international law and diplomacy, as well as his commitment to securing a lasting peace. After the war, Adams returned to the United States to participate in the creation of a new government under the Constitution. His experiences during the Revolution and in diplomacy gave him a unique perspective on the challenges facing the young nation. Adams advocated for a strong central government that could maintain order, protect liberties, and manage relations with other countries. He was wary of excessive democracy unchecked by institutions, believing that a balance of power was necessary to prevent chaos and tyranny. This viewpoint influenced his role in shaping the early republic and its governing structures. Adams's diplomatic career during and after the Revolution demonstrated his versatility as both a political leader and a statesman. While many of his contemporaries focused primarily on military or legislative roles, Adams combined legal expertise, political philosophy, and international savvy to advance the American cause. His work helped ensure that the Revolution was not only fought on American soil but also supported abroad, which was critical to its ultimate success. Adams's ability to navigate the complexities of international diplomacy underscored his importance as one of the founding figures of the United States. Throughout this period, Adams maintained a steady commitment to the principles of justice and liberty that had motivated his earlier political activism. He understood that independence was only the first step in a long process of nation-building, and he devoted himself to securing the foundations of a stable and effective government. His diplomatic achievements were matched by his efforts to foster unity among the states and to promote a vision of the United States as a respected member of the global community. Adams's work during the Revolution and its aftermath solidified his reputation as a dedicated patriot and skilled statesman. Adams's tenure as a diplomat was not without challenges. He often faced disagreements with fellow American representatives and the difficulties inherent in negotiating with foreign powers whose interests did not always align perfectly with those of the United States. Nevertheless, his persistence and principled approach allowed him to overcome obstacles and achieve significant successes. His diplomatic missions required patience, tact, and a clear understanding of both American goals and European politics, qualities that Adams demonstrated throughout his service. In summary, John Adams's role in the American Revolution and diplomacy was multifaceted and crucial. As a delegate to the Continental Congress, he advocated for independence and helped draft the Declaration of Independence. His diplomatic missions to France and the Netherlands secured vital support and loans, and he played a key role in negotiating the Treaty of Paris that ended the war. Returning to the United States, Adams contributed to the formation of the new government under the Constitution, emphasizing a strong central authority. These efforts highlight Adams's importance not only as a revolutionary leader but also as a diplomat who helped establish the United States as an independent nation on the world stage. John Adams was elected as the second President of the United States, serving from 1797 to 1801, a period marked by significant challenges both abroad and at home. His presidency came at a time when the young nation was still defining its place in the world and navigating the complexities of its newfound independence. One of the most pressing issues during Adams's time in office was the Quasi-War with France, an undeclared naval conflict that tested American diplomacy and military readiness. Despite the difficulties, Adams was committed to maintaining peace and stability, advocating for a strong central government that could effectively manage domestic and foreign affairs. The Quasi-War arose from tensions with France, which objected to American neutrality in the ongoing conflict between France and Britain. French privateers began seizing American ships, and diplomatic relations deteriorated rapidly. Adams faced pressure from factions within the United States who called for war, but he chose a path of cautious diplomacy, seeking to avoid a full-scale conflict while strengthening the nation's defenses. His administration expanded the Navy and prepared for potential hostilities, but Adams remained committed to peaceful resolution through negotiation rather than escalation. Domestically, Adams's presidency was marked by political strife as the country's two emerging parties, the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans, clashed over the direction of the nation. Adams himself was a Federalist who believed in a strong central government and the importance of law and order. However, his administration faced criticism from opponents who accused him of being too authoritarian, particularly after the passage of the Alien and Sedition Acts, which were intended to suppress dissent and limit the influence of foreign nationals but were viewed by many as infringements on civil liberties. These acts stirred controversy and deepened partisan divisions, challenging Adams's leadership and legacy. Despite the internal conflicts and external pressures, Adams maintained a steady commitment to the principles he believed essential for the survival and growth of the United States. He emphasized the importance of neutrality in foreign conflicts, recognizing that the young nation was not yet prepared to engage in wars on multiple fronts. His foreign policy aimed to protect American interests while avoiding entanglements that could jeopardize the country's stability. This cautious approach was reflective of Adams's broader vision of governance, which prioritized prudent decision-making and the rule of law. Adams's presidency also set an important democratic precedent in the peaceful transfer of power. In the election of 1800, he lost to Thomas Jefferson, his political rival and a leader of the Democratic Republican Party. Despite the bitter campaign and the intense political rivalry, Adams accepted the results and facilitated an orderly transition to Jefferson's administration. This act of respecting the electoral process and relinquishing power without resistance was a significant moment in American history, reinforcing the principles of democracy and the peaceful succession of government. Following his presidency, Adams retired to Massachusetts, where he continued to engage in correspondence with fellow founders, including Thomas Jefferson. Their letters reflected a complex relationship marked by both political disagreement and mutual respect. These exchanges provided insight into the evolving ideas about government, liberty, and the future of the United States. Adams's post-presidential years were a time of reflection and continued involvement in the intellectual and political debates that shaped the nation. Adams died on July 4, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, a symbolic coincidence that underscored his lasting impact on the United States. His death on this significant date, along with that of Thomas Jefferson on the same day, was seen by many as a powerful reminder of the contributions these men made to the founding and shaping of the nation. Adams's legacy as a patriot, statesman, and principled leader endured, influencing American government and political thought for generations to come. During his presidency, Adams faced the challenge of balancing competing interests within the country while managing delicate international relations. His commitment to a strong yet limited government reflected his belief that the republic needed order and stability to flourish. He worked to strengthen the federal government's institutions and asserted the authority necessary to maintain national security. However, his policies sometimes alienated segments of the population who feared the erosion of individual freedoms, illustrating the difficulties inherent in governing a diverse and divided nation. The political climate of Adams's presidency was marked by intense factionalism, with the Federalists and Democratic Republicans vying for influence. Adams's Federalist Party generally supported a robust federal government, commercial interests, and closer ties with Britain, while the Democratic Republicans favored states' rights, agrarianism, and sympathy toward France. This ideological divide shaped much of the political discourse and policy decisions during Adams's tenure. Navigating this polarized environment required careful diplomacy and political skill, qualities Adams exhibited despite facing criticism and opposition from both sides. Adams's approach to the quasi-war exemplified his preference for measured responses over rash actions. While he authorized the build-up of the Navy and prepared the country for potential conflict, he also pursued diplomatic channels to resolve disputes with France. His efforts culminated in the Convention of 1800, which formally ended hostilities and restored peaceful relations between the two nations. This resolution demonstrated Adams's dedication to peace and his ability to prioritize the nation's long-term interests over short-term political gains. The Alien and Sedition Acts passed during Adams's administration remain among the most controversial aspects of his presidency. These laws extended the residency requirement for citizenship and criminalized making false statements against the federal government. Federalists argued that these measures were necessary to protect the nation from foreign influence and internal subversion during a volatile period. However, critics saw them as violations of free speech and political repression. The backlash contributed to the decline of the Federalist Party and Adams's loss in the 1800 election, highlighting the challenges of balancing security and liberty. After leaving office, Adams's continued correspondence with Jefferson and other founders revealed his ongoing engagement with the issues facing the Republic. Despite their earlier political rivalry, Adams and Jefferson reconciled in their later years, sharing reflections on the American experiment and the principles of Republican government. Their letters remain valuable historical documents, shedding light on the perspectives of two of the nation's most influential figures. In all, John Adams's presidency was a time of testing and transformation for the United States. His leadership during the Quasi-War, his navigation of domestic political strife, and his peaceful transfer of power contributed to the stability and development of the young republic. Though his administration faced criticism and controversy, Adams's dedication to the principles of governance, law, and diplomacy left a lasting imprint on the nation's political landscape. If you loved the story, like the video and subscribe.